welcome to my page. My name is Bella, and I go by the Bella Fix. This week's vlog is basically just going to be about myself and how I have worked through challenges with self-care this entire year. Now, this is my birthday week. I'm in my mid-30s and a lot of things have transpired from the last birthday to this birthday. So I want to kind of honor that, acknowledge that, and definitely put everything full circle. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and how my mid-30s have definitely changed the Bella from who I was in my 20s to now. I have things to say, but if I'm being completely honest, I don't even know where to start. So let me just take a sip because, yeah, Brewmate and meal enhancers, water enhancers, perfect combo. So I want you guys to really know the nitty gritty and the honest truth behind the curtain, right? So we are going to start by a quick introduction because I have been failing you guys at doing that. I have not been doing that for a while. So ladies, I am a Latina mom. I'm a stay-at-home wife. I have 4 children. One of those is on the spectrum. She is autistic, nonverbal, and my kids range from 5 to 17. So I definitely have all the mixes in there. And we live in New York City. We live in the Bronx. So a lot of the things that I talk about are autistic, special needs places. How do I organize things? How do I deal with multiple calendars? And how do I operate my home while still taking care of myself and my kids and not losing that authenticity within them and that family dynamic. So we talk a lot about lifestyle, self-care, and motherhood in this YouTube channel. If you resonate with anything like that, don't forget to subscribe below. My son is always on here talking about don't forget to like and subscribe. And we agree with Stacy. So don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that being said, we are going to start with relationships. Okay? I have had a turmoil chapter with relationships. And I'm talking about platonic relationships, like friends. For a very long time, I was seeking friendships and looking for my people. But in hindsight, my people were always there. It's just, we're so separated by distance and, life situations that I never really thought about it, But I have my people. And I'm so grateful for them. Shout out to Shay. Shout out to Tiffany. Shout out to Anya. Shout out to Vanessa. My people are there. I just wish we could spend more time together, but that's a whole nother story. And that's a whole nother topic with women in their 30s that are thriving and are mothers, but something always falls in the cracks, and it's usually friendships. That's a whole nother YouTube. So I prelude this with saying that I've always had my friends, and I was kind of seeking friendships with people that I can connect on a daily basis. And at first I tried with family, if you could call it that. It wasn't really my direct family, but it was associated with family. And it worked for a little while until I started noticing certain things and a lot of shifts. And when I became honest with that friendship and I, said my piece and said, listen, it feels like you're kind of using me. I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm here for you, but just not in that capacity. It kind of just dissipated. The friendship dissipated. So I will say this. If a person is your friend, if a person is genuine and honest with you, they will be genuine and honest and take the good with the bad. So if you feel like someone is not being forthcoming with you and they're kind of shady or, kind of sneaky, that's the word. They're kind of sneaky around certain topics and they want to know everything about your life, but they don't really include you in theirs. I'm not saying cut it, but I wouldn't give it that high of a priority in your friendship list, in your friendships category. So that friendship went out the window. The second friendship I had was almost there. I mean, locked in, like very, very cool, genuine person. I think the person is a very good person, but the entitlement was not there. But was not there for me. And I'll explain. I can be friends with people that are self-righteous and obnoxious and, they love themselves and all of this other things, but if you feel like you are 100% genuinely better than everyone else and you show that and you nitpick at those wounds when it is a conversation, then we can't really be friends. So I've learned that moral of the story is don't be friends with narcissists. So I learned that this year. I learned I cannot be friends with narcissists. Even though I am all about self-care and self-improvement and I family first, prioritize myself, I do all of those things myself, I cannot be friends with someone that's a narcissist. I give too much, I just do too much, and I love the people around me, and if you only care about yourself, we're just not going to be compatible. So this year around the sun has definitely taught me that something that I used to do before, which is not really care how you were as a person, but just more so how you and I bonded in friendship, is not something I can do now. Now I can't. If you're a narcissist, I can't be friends with you. I'm not a narcissist. I'm not that type of person. I'm in a space now in my life where I can't do that. Now, the things that I do moving forward and in my life, I have to pick and choose things that work for my entire ecosystem, not just me. So this year has definitely taught me that. And I'm happy with it, So friendships, the things I learned, no narcissist. The second thing I learned around the sun this year was to listen to my body and truly, truly listen to my mental health, my brain, my second gut. Listen to the things that are bothering me and not be apologetic about it. If I don't like something, I don't know if it's because I'm in my mid-30s and I'm closer to reaching 40 than I was in my 20s. I don't know what it is, but this year has taught me that my sanity, and in order for me to work, live, love, and be there, be present with my ecosystem, with my family, my husband and my children and myself, I need to preserve my sanity. And if you do not fit in that sanity, if you are not contributing to that, goodbye. I don't need you around. I don't want that around. If I feel like you are more of a cloud in my life and you are giving me more stress, you're going to go. I don't care who it is. You're going to go. I can't do that. And I realized that sometimes, I told my husband this the other day too. I've been letting things go this entire year. And every time I want to let something go, I think about that meme. It's like a cartoon where the hand is holding, it's like a rope. Like the person is holding onto a rope and they're like this. And their hand is strained. It's red. And then it's red on top, and then the second picture is the person letting go. And when the person lets go, their hand gets back that circulation and their body becomes back in homeostasis. And I feel like I was holding on to a lot of things that I did not need to hang on to, that were not my business, not my priority, not my concern. So letting those things go these past few months have been genuinely the best thing for my health and my life. And I am so happy I decided to just put myself first and voice my opinion. Because a lot of times I was doing a lot of things as a mom, as a wife, as a person. Sometimes when you're a giver and you genuinely feel like you do it all, sometimes you give more than you should. And sometimes you give more than you even receive. So finally putting myself first and voicing those opinions allowed me to see where my capacity really was and what I was willing to do moving forward. And I was no longer willing to do anything. Not us. So I learned to set boundaries. I learned to set boundaries for myself and for my sanity. So that's number 2. The final thing I learned this year, and this one hits close to home, but I want to say it's a twofer. 2 things, obviously twofer is 2 things. But it's perspective and forgiveness. I'm not going to get into too much detail about this one because this one is a very, very personal thing for me, and I'm still navigating that. Honestly, no, it's not forgiveness. It's perspective. Definitely perspective. So scratch forgiveness, it's perspective. I recently decided to engage in a relationship that was completely shattered and was non-existent for the past, I want to say 14, almost 15 years. Yeah, you could definitely say 15 years. For a very long time, I forced myself to live in this state of non-negotiable boundaries. And I did not want to speak on this relationship. I did not want any parts with this relationship. I was holding on to something that was so dear to my ego and my pride, but also how I did things. That it took a really long time to realize that it's just a matter of perspective and growth. So if anything, it's not perspective and forgiveness, is perspective and growth. Because the older I got, the more I allowed myself to see how things panned out from the other person's perspective and then put myself in their shoes. And that allowed me to really hone into what I wanted to do as a person and whether or not I wanted to revive that relationship. And I don't think I would have ever done that had I not been able to shift my perspective and really put myself in that person's POV. So I'm happy I did it. And it was a decision that took me a really long time, but all is well. The relationship is back and it is slowly thriving. And you guys are actually going to get to see a little bit of that relationship in a few weeks because we're actually going to meet again for the first time in a long time, the first time in 15 years. It's going to be very interesting. I'm going to speak with the person to see if they will allow me to, vlog a little bit. If not, it's fine. You guys will see snippets of it because, lifestyle and self-care, baby. Lifestyle and self-care. And I feel like this relationship hones into all of the things that I talk about in this YouTube channel. It is lifestyle, it is self-care, and it is definitely motherhood. I learned a lot this year, and I say all of that because I understand that there's so many more things that I am learning, but this is the first year that I truly feel like myself. I feel good about the decisions that I've made. I feel lightweight, like I feel light when I sleep at night. I don't hold any guilt over anything that I've done these past few months or this past year. I feel like I could walk in peace and not be so stressed out about other people's things and the other people's worlds. I am focused on myself and the things that I can contribute and the things that I can do for my family, for my husband, for my kids, for me. And it kind of sounds a little bit selfish, but I feel like it's preservation and it's really learning those boundaries. And this year taught me a lot, okay? Because with those boundaries, I have learned who my people are and who has always been there. And I've also learned to be able to shift perspectives and kind of really understand. But for me, the biggest thing I've learned is to trust myself and to be content with who I am and the person that I'm becoming, the woman that I am becoming. Because I have changed so many times throughout this past decade that I can't even begin to I can't even begin to put down that list. The list is a lot. But this year I feel good. I feel like I can finally breathe, and I am so thankful. I am so grateful. I am so appreciative for my support system and the people that are around me that are really there through all of it. My husband, my kids, my parents, my siblings, everyone, my best friend, my friends, everyone that is around me understands me and they support me. And if there was a race, they will all be in different parts, but I will go through that finish line knowing that I had the support of everyone on my back to get me there. And that's huge. So I want to conclude this with be good to yourself, be true to yourself, and never, ever, ever do something that you know doesn't feel right within you. It took me 10 years to realize that you cannot do that. You can't live that way. So if you take anything from me today, is be yourself. I'm so happy. Again, if you're seeing this vlog, my birthday was this week. I am very, very, very happy with how things are turned out. I got multiple dinners. I got multiple celebrations, multiple cakes. My kids decorated for me. I'm sure you guys saw that in a vlog, in a short. We did decorations for the house. I'm just loved. You know, I'm loved, and I'm so grateful to even share this experience with you guys. And my kids told me something yesterday, and they were like, you know, we can always see you on YouTube. And for me, I feel like that's such a blessing, because a lot of times we lose sight of pictures and memories and doing all these things. But I am capturing everything to the best of my capacity, and my kids are able to see that. And I hope that you resonate with that. And if you are a special needs family, if you're a family of multiples, if you're a Latina, if you're a stay-at-home wife, if you are a couple, you know, if you're living in New York City, you can relate. So that is it. That is all. I love you guys. Thank you so, so, so much for being here. We have officially reached 400 followers. And I remember doing this YouTube when I only had 2 followers. So the fact that I am getting there, you know, and I'm learning my tribe and my people are finding me is amazing. I couldn't have asked anything more from you guys. Once again, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I am very, very fortunate to be here with you all. Girls, meet me in the comments. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. But we're here. We're here. We locked in, okay? We are locked in. This is the next year around the sun, and I am so ready for this chapter. So ready for this chapter. And I am very excited to bring you along with me. So I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to me yap, 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 yap. Love you. See you next Thursday.